Oh my god, I could scream. Put your hands on me, King. Put your hands on me. I just know she up to no good. Life is so hard. Hello besties, welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited to be back, but I was editing, obviously, this is future Gabby. I was editing this vlog and I literally not once thought to like intro the book. What are we doing today? There's no intro filmed. I don't know if I just lost that footage or if it's on like a random SD card and I can't find it, but I literally spent about 40 minutes today trying to find a clip of me explaining to you guys what this book is about or introducing the videos. So we're gonna do that now because I guess I just never filmed one. But hi, hello, if you're new here, my name is Gabby Giselle and we do reading vlogs on this channel. We also do lifestyle stuff, just kind of sharing my life because I am not nonchalant and I don't know how to be private about anything. So here I am. Today we're doing a reading vlog. I'm super excited because this is a book that I have been anticipating. The minute I saw this cover, I was stoked. I was like, bet, this is for me. And this author has been on my radar for a while, but this is the first book I've read of hers, like actual book, and I own 3 of her books now. I've only read one. But in this reading vlog, we're going to be reading Graceless by Isabel Ibanez, where we follow our female character, Ravenna. It starts off with sort of like a prologue of some backstory on Ravenna, where we find out that she actually has magical abilities. We find out Ravenna has magical abilities and she doesn't really like them because this is a historical fantasy, and in this point in history, they have the Pope. Okay, he's in power, he's like the most powerful figure, but this is also fantastical historical fiction, and so therefore there are fae, there's witches, there's wizards, there's werewolves, there's vampires, and it's kind of like a fight between the Pope and then these magical characters, aka these powerful fae, and also this includes the Medici family, and so we get all of this lore pretty quickly, and it is so interesting to see fantasy mixed with history because as somebody who's like, history was one of my favorite subjects in school, I do be loving to learn about history, specifically world history, and so this really interests me a lot. But anyways, basically, chapter 1, Ravenna is like, I have to save my brother. From what? We don't know. Turns out the Medici family came up in there into Volterra. This is a real battle that happened and took over. They were like,
this is ours now, you're gonna do what we say.
And so now there's like tons of guards everywhere. People just like, there's a curfew. People are kind of suffering because of this, and so her brother kind of had a fit about it, obviously, fair enough, King, and got arrested. And now she has to figure out a way to save him. And she learned how to sculpt from her aunt, and she comes up with a plan to save her brother. There's essentially a competition for sculptors to enter, and if you win, you get a boon. So basically, wish granted, whatever you want, you're gonna get it, and you get money. And this competition is being hosted by the Looney Familia. And the Looney Familia are these like very powerful fae people. I don't know, they're immortal. And they are besties with the Medici, and they are basically like super rich and kind of like behind the scenes running everything. But essentially, she goes ahead and enters into this competition, and she meets the heir of the Looney Familia. Essentially the eldest son who's like a badass and like hot and gorgeous and handsome and sexy, you know? And she meets him the night before the competition when she gets caught walking around past curfew, and he kind of just like stares at her. They don't really speak much because he's actually in the middle of having a conversation with the leader of the resistance in Volterra, and then he goes missing, the leader of the resistance. And the next day she sees him there and realizes he's part of the Looney Familia, and she carved a statue that looks just like him from memory. One time she saw him, whatever, it's historical fantasy. Besides the point, essentially she wins. He's like, queen, you win. You want to know why? Because she incorporates a stone that was gifted to her by her aunt, okay, into the whatever that is, the sculpture. And he's like, wow, you've got talent, Dad. This is the winner. And so she gets what she wants. She gets a boon. So they release her brother, and then they pack her up and they put her in the back of a caravan, and she is swept off her feet, not willingly, to go live with the Looney Familia because she did not know. But essentially, if you win this competition, you're going to be the in-house sculptor for the Looney Familia because they need you to make art. So she goes, and very reluctantly, they basically take her with them to their compound, and it goes on from there. So enjoy this reading vlog. I'll see you guys later. Love you. Bye. Good morning. Is the next day. Yesterday I went to go play in a pool tournament, and I read like 10 pages while I was there, to be honest with you. Like, we were mostly just chopping it up. I literally did not go to bed last night until 2 in the morning. Not because I was home that late. I got home around like 12, like right at midnight, and then Jake was still up when I got home, so I ate the rest of my leftovers. But it is now like 11 a.m. the next day. I've been up for like an hour. Honestly, I was doom scrolling in bed, and then I was like, I really want to read, and then I just like couldn't stop scrolling. So I was like, all right, I need to get out of bed and get in my reading corner. And I really want a coffee, but we don't have like milk or creamer. Like, I really need to go grocery shopping, but I just don't want to. Life is so hard. Okay, we're just gonna go to the store. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go to Walmart and get groceries and then come back, and then I'll stop and grab a Starbucks on the way, but I'll have coffee for at home after that, and then maybe I'll get stuff to cook dinner. Anyways, let's go. We're gonna be a diva, a homeless looking diva. Okay, now that we're home, we're gonna toast some of the sourdough and put some jam and butter on it. I'm so excited. But first, we're gonna try this brown sugar shaken espresso deal. I have this straw from my drink last night. I'm just gonna clean it. Like, tell me that's not so cute, a little heart. Okay, let's try this. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That was a good espresso. We have our cutting board. We're gonna pull out our loaf. She gave it to me in this little bag thingy, but I actually have a sourdough bag. This is my sourdough bag. Keeps it nice and fresh. So we're gonna transfer it to here once I cut these pieces off. And I also have, excuse me, I have a bread cutter. Don't ask me when I got this bread cutter or for what, but I got it at the same time as I got the bread back. We're gonna cut her. She's so beautiful. I did take bites last night. Look how gorgina. I'm gonna cut 2 slices. Like, look how beautiful that is. You want to stay nice and fresh. Bread back. Now we're gonna toast these in the air fryer, because I don't have a toaster. Okay, I think she's toasted, she's ready. I've been meaning to buy paper plates for my house so I don't have to do dishes all the time. I'm not joking. Okay, so now we're gonna put some butter. Then I'm gonna put some raspberry. Ah! Oh yeah. That'll do it. Okay, we got our toast. I'm so excited. Look how beautiful. You can still see the design. Okay. Coffee, toast. Oh. Wow. Okay. Thanks for coming on this adventure with me. Let's go read. Okay, I'm going to keep reading and I'm gonna finish my toast. It's so good. And my coffee, and I will update you guys when we get somewhere interesting. I don't know. The whole book is so good. It's so freaking good. I'm already like kind of giggling, kicking my feet, but also like not just because of like the tension and like the romance that we're obviously gonna get, but sometimes I say giggling, kicking my feet, it's not always like romance. It's mostly just like when you just know, you can feel like this book is gonna be good. Like I'm like, oh, like yes, it's setting up to be good. The world is interesting. The magic system is interesting. Like the plot is thickening. The characters are really good. Like I'm giggling, kicking my feet because I'm so excited to read this book. It's literally been like 2 minutes since I cut the cameras, but so she's like trying to run away from him, or trying to run away just in general. And she's like running through the woods and she gets like this sudden like realization that something's following her, and she freaks out and then she starts trying to run back to the inn and she can tell something's chasing her, and then it ends up being our MMC, and he like grabs onto her and he's like,
"Don't fucking scream, dumbass."
Because like obviously if she screams then everybody's gonna know that she tried to run away, and then they're gonna try to make a decision even though he thinks that like he can control her. And so she says, "Release me," and it says, "Cool breath brushed against her cheeks when he spoke. This is how easy it is for me." Ah! And she said, "What is?" And he says, "His chilling whisper cut through the night to get my hands on you." Ah! Oh my god, I could scream. Put your hands on me, King. Put your hands on me. She's like, she doesn't want to use her magic, right? Because she's like, it's evil, it's bad, whatever. I'm gonna kill him. And so she's like, "Please don't make me do it." And he's literally like, "What do you think you could possibly do to me?" And then she says, "No, I won't do it. I won't. Let me go." And he says, "Do it." And then she like grabs onto his face and like magic starts like flowing out of her into him. And it like seems to affect him for a second, and then it doesn't. And he's just like, "Her magic was lethal to everyone. Is that all human?" And then he says, "There's nowhere you can go where I won't find you." Period. "Don't make me chase you again." He gives her dagger back to her, and she says, "Why would you give this back to me?" And he says, "You can't hurt me." Okay. Okay, King. That's what you think now, but in about 100 pages from now, you're not going to be saying that. been a couple of days since I've updated you guys for the reading vlog, but I have been reading. So I went to the beach today and I think I got sand like all in the jacket. Anyways, so I went to the beach today and I got quite a bit of reading done. I think I read like 50 pages because I think where I was last time was like before the beach was like 250 pages in. And it's so good. Okay, we've had, basically, let me catch you up. So Ravenna is asked to extract these night flame stones from like a big chunk of marble, and like it's an impossible feat. You need like magic to do it. She has the magic to do it, but she's also like really deathly afraid of this magic. So basically the Pope has like power, okay, but then there's like the Medici family and the Luni family, and they are fae, and they are the ones that are actually in power, and they basically tell Medici what he gonna do. Like, Medici be acting with their interests in mind, right? Not necessarily like, he's not like necessarily like their little beach, you know, but he's like kind of like, he does things specifically for them. And so the Medici family had taken over Volterra, which is where Ravenna's from. And so she's like, fine, I'll do this for you, but you have to give me what I want. And Senor Luni, okay, he's like the family man. He's like the dad, right? He's like, you're ridiculous. Like, we're not giving you what you want. But Saturnino, he's like, okay, do something first. So she goes down into the dungeon and she's able to like make a crack in the stone, and he's like, nobody's ever been able to do that before. You're the one. Let's go. We're gonna go meet the Medici. So she goes to the Medici, and because the Pope, oh my god, I left this out. The Pope gets her a letter, okay, via this courier who's like a wizard, and he gives it to her, and he's basically like, you are gonna help us take down the Medici and the Luni Famiglias, and if you don't, we're gonna excommunicate your entire family, and like, you will not be saved in death. And she's like very religious, like she believes in like the church or whatever. So she's like, oh my god, I gotta work for the Pope. Great. So then she's like, I'm gonna go to the Medici family and I'm gonna ask for them to leave Volterra alone for a little bit in my name, so that way everybody from my hometown who has now casted me out, because they know that I'm doing magic, they know I'm a witch, and they know I'm hanging out with fae and going against the Pope basically by doing magic, and everybody's like, we hate that bitch now. And so she wants to be able to go back home and eventually escape. So she's like, I need my family to love me again, so I'm gonna do this for Volterra so they accept me when I get home. She goes to Medici, she's like, I want this, and this. And basically, he's like, okay, but it's only gonna be temporary. And Saturnino brings her to the market, okay? And it was cute, like they had a moment in the market, and it was so cute. And then, okay, I've had beef with her little lady's maid. I just know she up to no good. Turns out, we knew it, she was up to no good. I hate her so much. And then we learn like some of her backstory, which is kind of like her villain origin story, but she starts off a villain. Like, I don't like her, like, and no part of me likes her, so I hate her. I hate Imelda, whatever. Basically, we find out what Imelda's up to, we find out why she's up to it. Saturnino, oh my god, I didn't even update you guys with this. So Imelda does some evil things to Ravenna, right? She's like, queen, you better do what the Pope says, whatever. This whole altercation happens. She leaves, right? Imelda leaves her like outside somewhere, and then she like runs down, goes out to the courtyard, and then like wants to take like a really like hot bath or like a cool bath so that she can like relax. She goes out there, she jumps in the water, she takes off her whole like night dress or whatever in the grotto. She gets in the water. Guess who's there? Saturnino. And then they have a moment, and then they kiss, and it's crazy. Also, when she was in the fountain with Saturnino, he sees the marks on her throat from that guy trying to choke her out. He's like, who did that to you? Ugh. He's like, who did that to you? And she's like, I can't tell you. Oh my god, we just got two big bombs dropped on us. We just learned so many things. Fucking Imelda, bro, I'm telling you, I hate that bitch. I hate her. She's the worst. Oh, but in the last chapter, after whatever happens to the Duke of Milan, you could guess, we meet a character that we met in the very beginning of the book, and now it's all starting to make sense. It's all starting to make sense. I'm so excited. I'm whispering right now because Jake is asleep in the living room. He fell asleep playing his video game, and I don't want to wake him up because if I wake him up, he's gonna want to come to bed, and I need this light on so that I can finish reading. So I'm gonna read another like 20-ish pages possibly. Let's see what happens, because now that we've learned all this information, I'm like, oh my god, it's all making sense. I'm loving this book. It's so good. It's so good. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mostly ladies, if we're being honest. Today, I am wildly hungover. I was supposed to have book club today for this book, but everybody kind of had stuff going on, so we're gonna reschedule. And I really want to finish Graceless Heart today, so we're gonna lock in today. We're gonna finish it, but we're gonna make a coffee and we're gonna try to get some reading in. I've been reading this book for like 2 weeks, and I think that's the longest it's taken me to read a book in a really long time, especially because I like this book. Like, don't get me wrong, books that I don't like that much, it takes me a long time to read them. But a book that I'm actually enjoying, this is unacceptable. Okay, besties, it has been a couple of hours and I finished Graceless Heart by Isabel Ibanez, and I want to talk about it because I really liked this book. But we're gonna do some skincare and just like general stuff so I can leave the house. I'm gonna go practice because tomorrow I have my league for pool. So let's talk about Graceless Heart, because this was such a fun read. This was such a fun read, and I actually really enjoyed reading it. My friend Danielle, who's also in my book club, she mentioned to me a while ago, let me know when you finish because I feel like there's a plot hole and I want to know what you think. So like the whole like second half of the book, I'm like looking for plot holes, and I finished the book and I'm like, I don't see one. I also could have just missed something, so I'm waiting for her to text me back and let me know what she thinks that is. But I had such a fun time reading this book. It was so interesting. And then in the back of the book, she writes like an entire epilogue about the actual history, like, and how this is based off of like real historical events. And then on top of that, it's like a fantastical story. And it's really cool because it's a standalone, so you don't have to commit to an entire series when you're reading this. I feel like I committed to so many series last year that this year I'm like, I don't want to commit to any series. But I'm also really intrigued by like the Robin Hobb series and like Brandon Sanderson, and I will get into them eventually. But I like series, but I've been feeling slumpy because of series. So I am so intrigued by the history of this, and it was so cool to like read the last little bit in the epilogue and learn about like what the historical events are. Like Volterra is a real place, obviously like Florence and Rome, real places, right? But I find it so interesting. So like that was really cool. I've never, maybe I have and I just don't know, but I've never really read like historical fantasy. It's always like in a made-up setting, you know, with like made-up lore and history and stuff. But I find it really cool that she enjoys like historical fantasy, which is really cool. And I really like the writing. It was like sophisticated but not like pretentious, and I'm a big fan of that. Like I do enjoy when a book has a word I don't know and I have to Google it, but I don't enjoy it if it's like constant, you know. I find it so interesting to like write historical fantasy. Like that's so cool. And so I really enjoyed that. Like the setting was great. I thought that everything about the world was like simple. It wasn't like this crazy fantastical world that like requires a ton of world building and like explanation, and I found that really just well done, because sometimes it's like it either feels like lazy if it's too simple, or it feels, again, just like pretentious and too much, especially for like a standalone book, like just a singular one-off book. Like you don't need all this world building, you don't need all this like magic system and like to learn all the intricacies of it. And it was a very traditional magic system, but there was like, apparently there was, we do see a vampire in the book, but like they talk about vampires, werewolves, they talk about like sirens, and like they have all kinds of fantastical creatures included in the book, which is really interesting because those are all like, I would say generally well-known fantastical creatures, so it doesn't require like a lot of brain power to understand like what those are and like where they come from and what their powers are. And there's like witches and wizards. I did find interesting like the stones and like how they are like otherworldly almost, and they contain like the night flame, which is like hellfire, and I really found that super interesting. Overall though, I really liked the book. The romance was really good, fantasy setting was really good. It made a lot of sense, but it was also like nice and complex. Like I didn't feel like it was a mindless read, but it was an easy read. It was a bingeable read for sure. I think I'm gonna give it like a 4-star, possibly a 4.5. I don't know. I'm gonna sit on it for the next couple of days and then I'll rate it eventually on Fable. But yeah, thanks for watching this reading vlog. I will see you guys next week. I'm trying to get back to doing YouTube. I just like have been busy with life stuff recently. But I am back to uploading weekly after this. So love you. I'll see you guys later. Bye.